Okay, hello. Today I will share about the next part for the audit process, which is on the audit planning. So this is the first phases of audit process. That is a part knowledge of client, business, and industry. Okay. So as I said previously, we have three stages on the audit process, which is on the planning, and the second on execution, and the third stage is the reporting. So on the pre-planning here, we have done the lecture about the acceptance and continuance, to assess independence, to engagement letter, what is the purpose of engagement letter, and also the content. So for this video, we will focusing on the client risk profile, and we have to study about the business and juga and industry of our client. Okay, so the learning objective number one, which is we able to discuss about why we need to make an audit planning is essential. Okay, so benefit of planning. So if before auditor start the audit process, the auditor have to plan first. So what is the benefit if auditor plan in audit process? So they will help auditor to devote appropriate attention on the important areas of audit. So auditor can know which part or which attention they want to draw when they make the audit process. The next one, help auditor to identify and resolve any potential problem on a timely basis. So we can do our work in the planning of duration. The next one, auditor will organize and manage about the audit engagement, so they will perform in effective and efficient manner. So that is a benefit if a auditor make the audit plan. Okay, so the three reasons for the planning. Why the auditor have to plan the audit? Because the auditor have to make sure they will get a sufficient and appropriate evidence for any circumstances for the any areas of audit. The second thing reason, because the auditor want to make sure that audit cost at the reasonable stage ataupun reasonable level. So nak pastikan cost itu pada tahap yang minimum and maximum. Okay, the next one is to avoid misunderstanding between a client. So this misunderstanding can be avoided if both parties are agree in the content on the engagement letter. Okay, next, the main reason for planning. So for your information, under planning process, first we have to accept and perform initial audit planning, which is accept or continuance for the client. So we just focusing in understand on the client, business, and industry. Okay, the next one, assess client, business, risk. Okay, kita akan fokus dekat sini. Okay, next, so before that, we have to understand two risk terms. So what is the term? First is we call it acceptable audit risk. What is the meaning of acceptable audit risk? So acceptable audit risk is the meaning of the auditor, how willing of auditor accept the financial statement may be material mistake after audit is complete and unqualified opinion has been issued. So how the willing auditor, if they do some audit procedure, they dah buat audit, so how they want to willing that still have a material misstatement in the financial statement. For example, auditor decide on the lower acceptable risk. So acceptable risk dia rendah. So means the auditor want to be more certain that financial statement is material misstated. Kalau zero risk uncertainty is 0% risk is complete uncertainty. That is acceptable audit risk. How willing auditor that is error, still have an error in the financial statement. So acceptable audit risk dia akan jadi rendah. That means that they have to make more work on that audit process. Inherent risk is about the auditor assessment on the likelihood that there are material misstatement in the account balance before considering the effectiveness of internal control. So inherent risk ni is something like semula jadi, risiko semula jadi. Even though we have internal control, but that risk still have. For example, auditor conclude there is a high likelihood of material misstatement in account receivable due to change in the economic conditions. So auditor may conclude that inherent risk for account receivable is very high. That is a inherent risk. Risiko semula jadi. Without see the internal control, so that is a risk will be incurred. Okay. Next, the learning objective number 2, we need to gain an understanding about the client, business, and industry. Okay, so what is the client, business, and industry? So client business risk is the risk that client fail to meet its objective. Let's say client industry is a fashion industry. So if they cannot sell the clothes ataupun baju-baju dia on that time because of some reason, maybe orang dah tak pakai lagi ke apa ke something, so that is a risk that fashion designer have to face. Okay, so some risk will become from the information technology, changing in information technology because of global operation and sometimes because of the error in human capital. Okay, next, understand business client industry. We have 5 part yang kita kena faham. So first we need to identify about the industry and external environment of our client. Second, we need to identify about the business operation and also the process of client business. That is number 2. Number 3, how the management and governance control in the client business. And fourth is about the what is objective and strategy in the client business. And last one, we have to measure the performance of our client business. So we have 5 components under how we want to understand about the client business and industry. Okay, we go one by one. Okay, number 1, industry and external environment. So the reason why the auditor have to understand about the external environment and industry of client, because they want to obtain an understanding about the client industry and external. First, we have to see the risk associated with the specific industry. Like say the client, their fall industry in the financial service or health industry service. So what is the risk for that services? So like say health industry. So now is pandemic. So what is the risk of this pandemic to the health industry? The second one, the auditor have to certain about the inherent risk to all client in the certain industry. Inherent risk ni is quite familiar to all certain industry. Let's say inherent risk in account receivable, we have a consumer loan industry. So tak banyak orang buat loan. Sebab apa? Sebab pandemic. So kita kena faham inherent risk. The last one is industry, external environment. There is a unique accounting treatment. Some industry, they have a unique requirement. Let's say construction, they have a unique requirement in accounting practice. So that is one of the risk yang perlu kita lihat. Okay. Next, business operation and process. So the next, to identify the business risk and client industry, we see the business operation. Kita tengok operation business tu macam mana. So for the factor yang auditor should understand is, first one is major sources and revenue. Who are their client? Who are their customer? Who are their suppliers? So we as auditor, we need to study that. But who are the major sources of revenue? Sama ada dia buat banyak loan ataupun dia banyak sales, that is a major sources of revenue. The next one, key customer and supplier. So siapa customer utama dia dan siapa supplier utama dia. So kita auditor kena tahu. The next one is sources of financing. Sama ada dia buat loan ataupun they are from the saving, how they get a financing or they make the investment and something like that. And last one is about the information to the related party. Related party is about refer to if that business have a subsidiary or they have a parent company or they have a many company that have a father's company or family company. That is a related party that we have to study in order to understand about the business operation and process. Okay, number 2.1. So in order for us to understand about the business operation and also the process in the client company, first we can tower the plan and office. So kita boleh pergi the client company. So in the tower plan and plan client company, towering process, we'll see the physical facility enable auditor to access the safeguard and interpret accounting data related to the asset. Let's say from the tower plan, so auditor boleh lihat how the look like of the inventory. Is it any obsolescence of inventory? Is it inventory that have a special treatment in the client company? So that is tower plan. So to know, understand the business process, so auditor boleh pergi dekat client company. Second, auditor can identify related parties. So how to identify related parties? So related party, like I said previously, is about the subsidiary company, parent company, so affiliated company. What is the affiliated company? Who are the principal of the owner? Who are the party that involved in that business? Principal owner of the client, other party which the client deals, so party which the client deal, and party who can influence management client policy. That is identify related parties. Next is management and governance. So that is a third part, that how to want to understand the business industry of client. See the governance, how the looks like of the organizational structure. Who are the BOD? How the power and duties for that position. That is a governance include. So board activity, audit committee. Who are the person that involved in the audit community? Next, governance insight. So who are the corporate charter by law? What is the code of ethics applied in that business? And sometimes we can see the minute of meeting of the business. That is very important. Document auditor can assess. And from these two view or two observations, so management can establish the strategy and process followed by the client business. Okay. Okay, number 4, client objective and strategy. So what is the strategy to be adopted? Strategy are approach followed by the entity to achieve organizational objective. What is the strategy provided by this client company? So auditor should understand the client objective and also understand what is the strategy used by this client to achieve their objective. Let's say the client objective. So first we can see about the financial reporting reliability. You can see about the effectiveness and efficiency of operation client, compliance with law and regulation. That is the client objective and strategy. And number 5 is measurement and performance. So client will see, we can see client performance measurement system include in the key performance indicator, KPI. So macam mana kita nak tahu dia punya measurement performance? So we can see about the market share price, about the sales per employee. So every employee, how much sale generated, and unit sales growth, how the growth of the sale. We can see the website of the visitor, how many visitors they have in daily or monthly, how much the store sales and sales of square foot of the business. So this performance measurement, how we want to calculate, we can use a ratio analysis and benchmarking against the key competitor. Tapi kita comparekan this client dengan other competitor dia dalam same industry.